in honor of Black History Month, we'll be doing top 10 favorite artists from what all sorts of different eras from the 50s and to present. So here we go, everyone, and let's do number 10, Beyonce. And Beyonce did "Single Ladies" in 2008. That's her well-known hit, which has been played at weddings and ceremonies. It plays at bars even. So yeah, a really great song. So my number nine is Sahai Hawkins. She is the new Yellow Wiggle with the Wiggles, and she not only that, but she was the first African American with Australian Wiggle that came on board with them. But yes, and of the Australian Wiggles, not including the Latin American Wiggles or the Taiwan Wiggles, but oh yeah, and they have and the new Wiggles have a TV series uh, out right now, and they have a new video called Super Wiggles, and I did an album review on about Super Wiggles just last year. So yeah, so let's do number eight. Number eight would have to be Little Richard, and Little Richard did great songs like Good Golly Miss Molly, Tutti Frutti, and you name it. And Little Richard died 3 years ago, May 9th of 2020, and I was sad when I heard of his passing, and we were in the middle of this COVID lockdown, and the stay at home technique, and yeah, and I was and the year before COVID, I was telling the family, I want to see Little Richard. I want to see him do a show before he dies, yes, but he in his later career he mainly performed at churches around his hometown, St. Louis. Number seven, James Brown. And James Brown was a singer and R&B singer, and he had good dance on Goodfoot in the 70s, and he did a lot of great hip hop hits and dancing hits, and he says, "You can't pass the people, you can't pass the hip," and then you just do that, and yeah, so it's a disco song, I say, and it was from the early 70s, and James Brown died on Christmas Day of 2006, and he was going to do like a New Year's Eve live and Christmas. It was Christmas concerts, but yeah, he was a heavy smoker, and he died of cancer, and he had a cancer treatment for a few years, but he continued to occasionally do tours until he died, which was in his very later days of his life. So let's do number six, Diana Ross. And Diana Ross was in the Supremes in the 60s, and then in their solo songs, she had I'm Coming Out in 1980. And so yeah, Diana Ross, great singer, and just great singing. Number five, Ray Charles, and he had songs like Georgia on My Mind, Hit the Road Jack, I Can't Stop Loving You, Seven Spanish Angels with Willie Nelson, and much more. He's one of my favorites, R&B singers from the 60s and 70s, but he died in 2004. So it was around the same time Ronald Reagan died, believe it or not, which is a crazy fact, and I just wish I just wish we were in a different time, but that's just me. So anyway, let's do number four, Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was originally born in St. Louis, died in St. Louis 60 years ago, and he had the did songs like Johnny Be Good, rock and roll music, and he was a great guitar player, and he was like a St. Louis celebrity, I shall say, but he was not only popular in St. Louis, but he was popular all around the world, and he had many worldwide tours over his career, and I'm gonna stand up and play guitar like him, and Chuck Berry would just do this. I'll demonstrate, but I'll make a guitar with me. And play it. He'd he'd he put his knee in the air and play guitar like he was having fun, and yeah. So if you wanna dance with me, if you wanna dance with me, yeah. So Chuck Berry's a great singer, and he sadly passed away in March 18th of 2017, and believe it or not, I was actually visiting family in St. Charles that weekend when I heard the news about Chuck Berry's death, and I was one of those celebrities, those singers of that time. I was wish I could have seen in a concert, because Chuck Berry would have been a great act to see, and yeah. But whether he was 40, whether he was 70, he was still doing it, that guitar man dance. Number three, Whitney Houston, and she had this great song called "I Want to Dance with Somebody," which is a great Whitney Houston song from 1987, and that's my favorite Whitney Houston song, and it was a great hit in the 80s, in the late 80s too, in particular. Anyway, let's do number three. Number three is Kamal. And Kamal is an Australian singer, and Kamal was born in 1934, and he had great songs like Sounds of Goodbye, The Elephant, The Elephant, The Elephant. And but anyway, Kamal started his career in 1956, but he was born in 1934, and he is 88 now, and he would be singing the song sounds. He'd be still be singing those great songs, and he also a great cover of "Let It Be," which is a Beatles song, and he was just a great singer, and he also did for Australia Day. He also did a song for "What Is Australia to Me." He had a song called "Waltzing Matilda," which is an Australian song. He did he did a great some Christmas song called "When a Child Is Born," and I'll be singing you "When a Child Is Born" right now. When a child is born, ah ha ha ha, ah ha 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 ha. Ah, 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 ah. So yeah, so Kamal has Twitter, and Kamal, mate, if you're watching this, you would be so proud of me singing like you. And I'm probably one of the only people here, and one of the only 100 people that listen to you in the U.S., but. Anyway, the reason I've heard about Kamal is he appeared in some of the OG Wiggles videos, like Wiggly Wiggly World and Racing to the Rainbow, and he sang "Sing with Me" with Dorothy the Dinosaur, and he had a great cover of "Love Train," the band the OJs, and he said, join hands, peoples, join hands." So yeah, so anyway. Kamal is my favorite African American Australian singer, and and I bet people are gonna listen to Kamal. At least people here in America will listen to Kamal as soon as they hear me talk about this. But yeah, Kamal is this great Australian icon to Australia in particular. So, and let's do num number one, Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson is my favorite African American. The reason that is because he had so many great songs over the years, and we were and when I was like in AJ when AJ and I were like 6 years old at the time, and we played his Thriller album nonstop in the car, and we heard the Beat It song, the Thriller, yeah, you name it. And I love his most of his albums, and yeah, I appreciate still appreciate Michael Jackson of what he has done to this, not this country, to this culture too. So yeah, many cultures around the world like Michael, and there will never be another singer like Michael to do the song. And he did the song the We Are the World in 1985 with Ray Charles, like I said earlier, and yeah, and so much more. And he had the Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, and Say with Paul, and he had some great duets with a bunch of singers like Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, and Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, yeah, like Paul McCartney earlier. He had A Horse with No Name, the Africa song, the American song, and yeah, so it's really great song song sing along to. But Michael Jackson was, before he became became his solo act. He was in the Jackson 5 band for a number of years, and during his younger career, and he also he did songs like Enjoy Yourself, the ABC, Little Robin, the great cover of Little Robin, which was originally done by Bobby Day. So yeah, so everyone, and this is Black History Month, in February. So we'll be doing more Black History actors and singers and social media influencers, and yeah, you name it. So thank everyone for enjoying the video, and keep going growing. Happy wiggling. See you guys.